There we go. Oh, is there anything better than warm, fresh bread? Yes, warm, fresh bread with honey butter. Oh. That is so good. Oh, the crust is so crispy on this thing.
Okay, so I may not be in the Alaskan wilderness, but I am preparing a dough for a no-knead loaf. So start with 4 cups of bread flour or all-purpose flour. Throw that into a mixing bowl along with a teaspoon of yeast and just under a teaspoon of salt. Give those 3 things a good mixing. Then get 2 cups of warm water. Pour a third and mix. Keep adding water bit by bit until you are satisfied with the consistency. It should not look dry, but not too wet either. A consistent dampness is ideal. Be sure to remove excess from your spatula. Take a damp towel and cover the dough. I like to place it in an oven, turned off, to create a microclimate. Warm and steamy environments are ideal for the most efficient rising. For the steam, I simply boil a pot of water and place it in the oven next to the dough. At this point, the dough is finished and you can leave it for 4 to 6 hours. It doesn't get any easier than that. Before leaving your kitchen, clean off all the utensils you used. One last thing is that we need to check on the dough in about an hour, so get a timer set. The dough has had a bit of time to rise, so now it's time to stretch the dough out. I actually don't know why this is done. Apparently maximize the glutens or something like that. I like to wet my hands with cold water so the dough does not stick to my hands. Grabbing one side of the dough with both hands, wiggle it a little bit so it stretches out, then slap it right back over onto the rest of the dough. Rinse and repeat all around. I'll do this maybe 8 to 10 times. Cover it right back up and let it rest in its damp environment for the remaining 3 to 5 hours. Mine will be resting longer as I will be leaving it overnight. And good morning, everybody. It is 6:58 a.m. and it is time to check on the dough. My dough rose quite noticeably. I seem to have also gotten many more bubbles than I usually do. Before unsticking the dough from the pot or bowl, wet your hands again. I also chose to stretch it out a bit to get more tension in it. This is no-knead bread though, so you technically don't have to do this, and you can skip straight to shaping. Now, make sure to preheat the oven anywhere between 450 and 475 degrees Fahrenheit. There is no need to set it to fast preheat as there is still a bit of work to do. Prepare a baking tray or pan to bake the dough in. I'm going with a cast iron skillet because it looks nice, so I've just got to rinse a bit of flour away from my last loaf. Now, choose a clean work surface on which you will shape the dough. Give it a dusting of flour so your dough doesn't stick to the surface. Plop that dough on there and give it a dusting as well. Plop that dough on there and give it a light dusting too. With hands dusted in dry flour, you can start shaping the dough. I like to grab the sides from slightly above and pull down and under to create tension on the top. In that pull motion, spin it tight to your work surface so that it may be held stronger in shape. I did it quite a bit here, but generally 8 to 10 is fine. I gave it another dusting, as the old one got absorbed. I also dusted the skillet before putting in the dough. I heated the skillet beforehand, which is not something I usually do because it means I cannot perfect the shaping before cooking. Immediately, I can tell my loaf will be misshapen, but trying to fix it now will only make matters worse. Now is the design phase. I generally look online to find my inspiration. This time, however, I'm gonna copy one of my old designs. I always save the design for right before the baking, as leaving it to rest for even 5 minutes will make it droop and expand, and it's not going to be as pretty after that. Ideally, you'll make swift slicing motions, not too deep into the dough. Finally, assuming your oven has preheated, give your dough 18 minutes in there. While that bakes, make sure to clean out your pot. It is a pain to clean it out later. When the oven timer ends, give it another 40 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And there we have it, folks. A warm, fresh loaf of bread. When the loaf is fresh out of the oven, it makes a faint crackling sound. If you've reached the end, make sure to try making a loaf yourself. Surely you can't regret it. Good luck on your bread making journey and have a blessed day, everybody.